Open to questions for you guys if you want to ask some stuff in the chat on what you're seeing, what's going on. I know everybody's out there trying to survive the bear market of crypto.
Yeah, no doubt it's been tough on people, man.
Bear with,
I'm sure some more stories out there for sure.
bear with us as we kind of
It's
get
been pretty
our.
sad to watch it.
So yeah, I'm going to start on. I mean, we want to get a good look at what's going on in the markets. But yeah, feel free to throw some questions. Anybody who's in the stream.
Yeah, I found another tweet out and saying we're taking questions if people want to come chill.
Q&A. Sunday Q&A.
Sunday Q&A with Casanomics.
Oh yeah, can't get better than that.
Better than Twitter.
Yeah, fucking the people who are going to find this shit so hard.
As the guys who in the last chat can see the new video, or they can't see that.
I just say I'd go in live, I think.
You got it sorted, Jay?
Yeah, it should be streaming right now.
Okay, cool. Let's get this tweet up.
No worries. Yep. We're just gonna do a review now. Just chill and chat. See some Nebulans are in here. Very cool. What up? What up?
What up, guys?
See whose room is Ethan from? It's I Spy's room in it.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a better version of Twitter. Man.
It's a
We were
much
talking
better.
about it before because Twitch is kind of like the hybrid version, right? Bezos is grabbing the best of everything and bringing it all together.
Can never bet against Bezos. You know, you watch the shit that guy's doing in Amazon, and every place he's been, he's ahead of the curve every single time. And in here, we want to communicate ideas without trolls, without garbage. This is a place where we can actually communicate ideas that are impactful and just not nonsensical. The immaturity of the guys who are pretending to be traders in crypto Twitter is only damaging people financially, and you know ultimately that's gonna fold in on itself. When you have your CIO of your largest crypto fund not knowing what the fuck he's doing, taking hot tips in DM, and then your average shiller dumping bags on the next noob, everybody from the top to the bottom of the entire marketplace is the same version of the same fraud. That's the definition of an overvalued market if I've ever seen one. And it came down in their faces like it should have because those people weren't worth shit. They were just frauds pumping bags to one another with no utility. So the market wasn't lying. It came down because it was mispriced and it was full of that. You know, it's still full of that at this point. It will take time to.
Dreams.
Yeah, it's going to take time to get that garbage out. You know. What up, Rain Man? So yeah, how many of you guys in the channels there at Nebula managed to play the Alter Black Easter egg? That was free money.
Man, that Winternomics emote looks so good in the chat box.
Things fire.
Yeah, we got a couple more emotes we can make up, man. If you guys got any ideas for some cool emotes, I think we should get DBC to make us a bitch please one. We gotta have a bitch please.
We gotta have a bitch please.
That would be good. That'd be good.
We've got one other ones that we can add to the channel. So if you guys have a cool idea for an emote, shout out. Maybe a grandma emote.
We need a grandma. We need a grandma and a fucking the Satoshi Robin grandma one too. Great. You gotta have that.
Yeah, we need. I think you need like 35 subscribers or something, and then you get like another couple of emotes that we can have.
We'll have some fun.
Shill the fucking subscriptions a little bit, and we can have some cool emotes.
Well, you guys come over here, you'll make money on this channel, so you can hang on Twitter and get raped, or you can come over here and we can do some big things. But we're going to be over here killing markets just the same anyways. It never really mattered if our calls are public on Twitter. We don't take anybody else's calls, they take ours. So, real recognize real, money talks, bullshit walks. And the money's now on Twitch.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
Stay ahead of the curve.
stay ahead of the curve, right? You know, I mean, do you really want to bet against this guy? This guy is killing every marketplace he walks into. You really want to bet against Jeff Bezos? I mean, be serious.
Yeah.
That hasn't worked out.
Bezos trend is the richest man on earth.
Bezos' trend is moon. He's the richest man on earth. Calling tops in this shit is just called being a hater.
We got Wu Yang asking who the other voices in chat. I guess we haven't introduced ourselves. Have we?
Is Wu Young? Is that Wu Young knows you?
Hello, he's asking who the other voices are.
Oh, that's Snow Ripper and Crypto Sim. You know them too.
Yep. Hello, guys. What up, I'm Sim.
This is Amazon, richest man in the world, entering insurance, entering healthcare, entering Spotify, iTunes market, entering stream, owns cloud, retail, supermarkets, and he's kicked the shit out of every single person's market he has walked into. Who wants to call tops on that guy? The guy who made more money than you will ever figure out how to make. You want to guess when he's going to fail? Do you know what kind of mentality does that? Do you know the kind of people who always try to shit on guys who are making more money than them? Like the Elon Musk or even Roger Ver. Only people shitting on Roger Ver are people who can't make Roger Ver's kind of money. Those are plebs. That's all you call those kind of people. They don't mean shit. They're on the other side of these trades constantly. The guy's talking shit on Amazon since this thing was $700. They're probably still working the same shit job they were complaining at $700. That's just the reality of markets. You know, this dude, unless they make a law, they're not going to stop this guy. This guy is fucking smarter than everybody he's competing with. And he is now the owner of Twitch. And if that's any indication where the video streaming world is going, Twitch is, bandwidth is increasing ever more and more. My son and your kids, they aren't going to grow up to read Twitter. They're going to grow up to stream video content. When self-driving cars come here, Twitter dies. Nobody's going to sit in a fucking self-driving car reading that garbage. They're going to want to take in something that's useful quicker. And that's where the world is going. That's where Amazon is. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's so sad, man. These kids aren't going to drive cars. Like, driving cars was the thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, you became a man when you turned fucking 17 and got a car.
You know, the thing was crazy. I asked my son, I was like, I thought you wanted me to keep my car for you when you turned 16. And he's like, well, no, this would be better. It's like, I don't really want to drive it. I mean, he doesn't really care if he gets to drive it. I'm like, I was always wanting to drive my dad's car. I'm like,
we
don't
got brought up to, want that shit. That was, the dream, the big, powerful fucking car. Now it's like, that's not the thing that the kids want.
Yeah, it's like the best possible video game. You can get to sit in, the riding car and play the video game. You're going to get to eventually drive the car. And he's kind of, cool, streaming everywhere between breakfast, going to play basketball, talking to his friends. They're sitting around, they're all streaming, watching fucking Ninja, and it's like, you guys are totally content doing this, and it's insane. But 6 years from now, if you think he's going to turn around and decide he wants to start reading a microblog after growing up streaming, you're fucking kidding yourself. And that's the generation that's coming next. Twitter already is on his way out. What's that?
What does he think of that HoloLens and Magic? What's the other one? The weird, crazy headset thing. Yeah, that thing.
Magic Leap.
From what I can tell,
you showed him too.
Yeah, I showed him HoloLens before. From what I can tell, the kids don't really seem to entertain the idea of putting anything on their faces either. I don't think anybody likes the idea of putting stuff over their faces. It seems like it's like clunky.
Like you are now.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a bit of a process, but you look at that Magic Leap. You took $2.3 billion in 7 years to put that ugly ass shit out. Had you got that crappy ICO project that's overfunded out the year you fucking talked about it, it'd probably be fucking stunning. But HoloLens achieves almost everything that thing's showcasing right now, and even if there's stuff you can't see without the camera, people just don't want to wear some ugly shit like that. Google Glass was far more aesthetically appealing, and nobody wanted to be seen in that thing, let alone if you're wearing with a little light on there, people thought you're filming you, so they're going to knock you out. I think you got to get to something like Minority Report where the glass itself can show AR through it, looking through a pane of glass, but it's not on your face. It's in the room, and you can look through a pane of glass that has AR on it, and nobody's got to have that on their face. Then you can have mass adoption with that. But this shit of sticking a bunch of ugly ass shit on people's face. No, think of a 55-year-old person wearing fucking Magic Leap. My ass.
I was thinking like, you know, a contact lens or something like that, and build the AR into a contact lens. And you know, something like Terminator.
They've
You know, where
got
he's scanning and targeting things.
somebody's come up with a camera and a contact lens now. I think it's Samsung has
Oh, really?
a camera
I
contact
haven't
lens
seen
that's
it.
coming out, and if that, you know, give it 2 more years, that should be able to do that.
This implants for black people, right? That they put into like the retina or something. You know, it's not perfect vision or anything, but that's what
Yeah, so something
you
like.
can implement augmented reality into that relatively easily.
Yeah, I agree. Magically,
Was that like the nanotechnology article that you're talking about?
I think
Might be, yeah. I can't remember. It was a minute ago.
I think trading in VR is a hell of an idea. You know, I was thinking like if you could manipulate like, you know, like some kind of gloves, and like what if you could get charts into 3D? What if I could pull this Amazon chart off the screen and kind of like pass it, you know, to cryptocurrency, and you could manipulate it? You know, that would be some crazy shit. Because to me, I believe charts are just a 2D cross section of a 3D, you know, reality. You're not really seeing all the information. That's one of the limitations of a two-dimensional chart. And, you know, I have methods that actually chart in 3D that would be heavily, you know, augmented should we actually have actually fully robust 3D charts. But it would be interesting. I think VR is going to make workspaces badass. I think, you know, Rodrigo, you, me, everybody in here, all over the planet can work in like a unified VR workspace, which could be, you know, massive gain to productivity.
Yeah, for sure, it'd be huge.
Amazon. Let's check out Twitter.
And we've got a lot of subscribers today. With Jet subscribed, Fractal Wave subscribed.
So July 18th is where they managed to con Jack into coming after me, right? And I'm telling you right now, Jack did that to everybody and started mass banning the content of his network. That looks like a fundamental dumbass maneuver for a guy struggling to get growth to his subscriber base. So keep fucking around with Jeff Bezos. He's gonna eat this guy's ass. Peak social could be a thing. It might be time, you know, because you know what's something that's interesting? Like, talk to your kids. If you got kids that are like 12, 10, you know, I'd say 11, 10 is where like the social level of interaction started to come online for my son. And, you know, there's 14, 15-year-old kids in there, all in the PlayStation networks and whatnot. Talk to them about what they think of social media. They don't really give two shits about it like the way that we do, that we interact through it. You know, Snapchat was about it, and when Snapchat updated, pretty much him and his friends dropped that thing instantly because it started to like try to force more ads into it. I think they just, you know, they're consuming content and they interact, like, you know, things like Fortnite allow them to come together in like interactive groups kind of like this, and they're doing something with the interaction now with, you know, what's available to them. But just like putting updates about statuses, I don't believe the generation behind us gives two shits about that. They're kind of living in a virtual space already where they're kind of in full contact constantly about what's going on. So it's not really like they don't need to give a status update. And if anything, a Snapchat video update made more sense for the younger millennials. So I think, you know, you get bandwidth or 5G and text goes away. Consumption of data is going to be pure video. And that's why I think you see Amazon Prime and Jeff Bezos buying movie theaters and, you know, owning Twitch. He's looking to control all video content. He doesn't give a... He could buy Twitter if he thought it was a good idea. He would have. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, how AIM, you know, AOL Instant Messenger, MySpace, all those things got their run, and
They have
like
their
the
run.
next day they're dead. You know, there's that threat where the wave just shifts completely, and yeah, like you said, it's that young generation where it's going to be.
Yeah, he doesn't survive this. He doesn't survive this bear flag. Bezos is gonna have his ass.
Yeah, he just looked a little sketchy up there, isn't he?
And, you know, I mean, Facebook's the only thing out. Facebook video is pretty robust. See what Facebook looks like. Facebook's got the same kind of setup as that too, right? That's kind of like bear flag territory if he doesn't hold this together.
Yeah, social media as a basket is
Looking like an asshole.
not too great.
Yeah,
Even Snapchat's looking kind of shitty.
but Snapchat's only looks shitty since they got here. Yeah.
That's true.
You know, you look at these guys, you look at Amazon, and they're not the same chart, but Bezos is very much in their market without them realizing it. Just like he's crept up on everybody, the way he's crept up on them, they're not even sure he's actually directly attacking them until it's too fucking late. And the integrations even right now, or chat functionalities are, Snapchat's already dying, and this interface, being able to communicate data like this in real time with stuff that's meaningful to everybody in here, versus like sifting through the seas of shit you do in Twitter. People just don't have time for that shit. The way the world's going, we're getting busier and busier. Who has time to read that much fucking loads of garbage? I mean, 90% of what's going down your crypto Twitter wall is literally not worth what you flushed down the toilet last night.
Right.
You really want to keep sifting through that, trying to find gold? No, you don't. Who likes to sift through the toilet finding gold? It's never fun. So, Facebook. I mean, that's a gap and a half. He could fill it a little bit. He did try to. Worth paying attention though. You could be seeing, the cycle of social. They run their courses. A lot of times you see there should be like paradigm shifts every 7-8 years. And the smartphone revolution is 2007. We're way past that. I don't think Magic Leap's the new one. And I think social has actually had its run that kind of like, came in lockstep with the smartphone revolution. People are either going to stop looking down at their phones and doing something else, or I think something's around the corner for us. But technologically, as we head to autonomous vehicles, this market shouldn't stay static.
Yeah, it does feel like we're due a little bump, doesn't it?
Huh?
We've had the iPhone we've had the iPhone nearly 11 years now.
Yeah.
Feels like we're due a sort of like little bump forward in.
I think Magic Leap was supposed to be it, but Magic Leap just fell on its face,
Yeah, people, it's kind of like common knowledge that like fucking social media is like just bad for people now too, and you just see all the mob behaviors and everything.
That's true. Yeah, mental health problems and stuff with social media are becoming pretty well documented now, right? There's no real hiding from it, so.
Even
that's obvious to anyone, so it'd be interesting to see how that develops over the next 10 years.
I think even Netflix is feeling pressure off of Amazon, This is the real competitor. A lot of people talk about Disney being the competitor of Netflix. I think Amazon is their direct competitor. Amazon Prime is this, plus a movie chain.
There's an interesting thing today, actually, on Netflix. I'll have to dig out the article, but it looks like they may be trialing putting adverts in between when you're watching. So, when an episode ends on Netflix and it says, in 30 seconds, we're going to be playing the next episode. Instead of that, they're trialing putting adverts in.
What's funny about that? Amazon's already got it. Amazon already has ads. If you watch like a series, between the series is an ad. He's ahead of everybody. He's ahead of everybody on all of that. So if they're looking to do that to gain revenue, he's already beat them to it. If they're looking for a movie theater chain, he's already there.
What's the ad for? Is it like for like another series?
Shows, yeah. I believe it's for the shows.
But it just increases traffic, right? He's just filling the space already. Like Netflix just came to the idea. He arrived at the space after Netflix and is already ahead of them on that idea. And then integrated, rentals, 4K rentals, and purchases. He's iTunes and he's Netflix already, and has a movie theater so you can go watch his shit, and it probably is all in Amazon Prime, fully integrated. It's like insane how far ahead he is, ahead of everyone. This is Netflix's specific market, and he's already outclassed it in it, and he's from like a bookstore? He's fucking everybody up in their space before they know how to do it. But most people don't realize Bezos is a hedge fund manager that's inside everybody's market. He's a hedge fund guy. He's like the wrong motherfucker you want in business. He's coming and taking people apart at their weak spot, and he knows exactly where it is before they know where it is. I mean, it's basically what we do in markets. When we catch a knife, he's doing it to businesses. He's catching the knife in every single business. So unless Trump goes completely apeshit and makes a lot of stop that guy, I think Bezos is a fucking freight train. I mean, he's the richest guy in the world, and it's like saying the stock market's at all-time highs. Who wants to cherry pick the top? That dude might see $200-300 billion net worth, in time. Reality too, we ain't worth 150 billion. It's not the same as being worth 150 billion in the 90s. Bill Gates was worth 80 in the 90s. You think about money 20 years ago, Bill Gates technically was worth more than he is now. So he's not by purchasing power the wealthiest guy in the world. I think you can still consider Bill Gates having reached the greatest wealth that we know in modern times, because he reached it at a time that money was far more powerful.
Right.
So that's people like to look at things in nominal terms. You can't do that with fiat currency. You got to keep it relative. But,
it remains to be seen what this market cycle will bring.
What was the symbol for the Dow again? Was it Dowie?
Yeah, DOWI.
Oh, where did I make him? I have him somewhere. Let's see.
I think you had
Yeah,
a
baby.
specific chart layout.
Hell yeah. Let me know if this one comes up or if it stayed on it. It made it in a new window. Did it open that window for you guys?
No, it's a white screen. Wait, no, it's coming.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, we got it.
You got it?
We got it.
The original 100-year Dow. I've seen a couple pirates
Oh.
out there trying to steal my shit. But yeah, this is the original
My
100-year
favorite
Dow.
chart.
Huh?
My favorite chart of yours, man. Can't
Yeah.
beat this one.
This one is fun. It took me a while to make this fucking thing, man. I sat here making this shit forever.
I might prefer the other variation of it. You've got a slightly different variation where you show like gold and stuff, right? So I like that
Oh
one
no,
too.
that's not the 100-year one. That one's a
Yeah,
30,
it's not 100
30,
years, but it's
30.
a similar start, right?
Yeah, similar style. That's a 30 some odd year look back overlay in gold, Dow, and just cycles in the secular and bull and bear cycles of each.
Yeah, that's cool.
We look at this bad boy right here. It's pretty funny, right? I remember I called a low and a dead low of this, and people laughed at me. And this wave has now emerged just like the one from stagflation. And people call tops all the way out of this through till I was like, in the internet bubble era. And you're watching it go down again, and they're doing it again. It's like people can't let themselves make money. They're so desperate to call the end of something to go, aha, I told you so, that they get in their own ways to even make a damn dollar for themselves. It's just fucking stupid. If you're sitting in America betting against America, then you're an idiot. If you want to fail while you're still standing there, you deserve to be at the bottom of the ocean. Like, who sits on the Titanic waiting for it to sink? That's fucking stupid. But yeah, you're in another bull run, whether it be Obama's part of it or Trump's part of it, whether it be Carter's part of it, Reagan's part of it. These are the kind of cycles you don't fuck with, and these are the kind of cycles that put us on the moon or split the atom. We have the space age in the first leg. We have the semiconductor internet age in the second leg. The third leg should put us in fucking space and other celestial bodies, and we're watching robotics, AI, and all those component parts of what should be unfolding begin to unfold and take shape. Even Trump's Space Force was forecasted for us. That's what Space Cash was all about. Getting off world to go after assets in space. You're seeing Russia, China, and America all now pursue weapons, satellite weapons in orbit, because it's the precursor to the dawn of that era. And that's just a logical extrapolation if you think about the technological gains made from the war through the technological gains made since the 70s. I mean, you're just not in the same place when this markup is done. When this markup is done, the world that we'll be in at the end of this will be as different to us as the world was to when we had the space race to the people from the 1940s. They couldn't even dream of some shit like that. And at this point, we're in the same kind of markup. Where we're going to be at the end of this markup, we're going to think this insane from where we're at, but my son's going to think it's totally normal. And that's kind of the scale of things that they're on. If you think the central bank doesn't know what they're doing, you're dumb. Blockchain, Bitcoin, going to stop the central bank, you're dumb. These people terraformed a planet in your fucking face and you're busy calling the top of it, you're dumb. If you don't get it,
fucking stop running your ass with 2008, created zero edge.
they stop run to every era. They kicked out the World War II, they kicked out the stagflationaries, they kicked out the internet era, and they ran it, and they ran it, and they ran it, and they did it 3 times in your fucking face, fractally similar to a degree that's almost ridiculous when you look at this chart, and it's been missed by the bulk of every analyst on Wall Street. I've had this thing public since 2014, the original version. And you couldn't shove it up anybody's ass. Now you got plebs like Peter out there trying to make it look like it's his own. That guy's a fucking fraud. Not his own. And if you're 40 years old stealing shit from a dude in a mask, you deserve to freaking be dumped in a lake. Like, be serious. Like, your career is over, buddy. So, this is the realities of it here. Is that the market is organized. And the Fed, they're the smartest people on Wall Street. They know what they're doing. They didn't get this wrong. Calling top and those guys is foolish. If Buffett's not calling top and those guys, you shouldn't either. But yeah, we're in a hell of a place, And Trump, honestly, he's going to come out looking like a genius out of this because the markup that's coming from the expansion of the monetary base that kicked him into this has put a hell of a tailwind behind things. The planet's still expanding, not equally, not everybody. But then again, the system isn't made for everybody. That's one of the big misconceptions people cry about. Well, the poor are getting poorer. The poor didn't make the fucking system. So what the fuck are they crying about? They have nothing to do with it anyway. This wasn't designed for the poor, right? It's like, well, it's like the guy in the mailroom. Apple doesn't work for me. Really? You're in the mailroom, you freaking pleb. Nobody gives a shit what you think. You got a job like in some stupid app online. Get the hell out of here.
They gotta know their placement.
You think they run the planet for the poor? You're stupid. The poor have nothing to do with this. And that's how you have to look at it. They don't give a shit about the poor. It was never designed for them. You crying about somebody's Lamborghini not working for you? Do you own it? Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
It's the same concept. Crying about Rogers not doing this for me, guys, don't give a fuck about you. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Go handle your own business and stop crying about who should be doing what for you. That's not how the world works. And the reality is, what these guys have been doing has generated massive amounts of wealth, has increased technological capacity of human beings, has put us off the planet, and it's going to keep on going into the future, and human beings will survive by these people doing what most people would never understand. If it was up to the sheep to make the decisions, we'd all be in the fucking Stone Ages.
Yeah.
So the only way that the world got to where it is today is by a bunch of morons crying about what they didn't understand and using those idiots as the grease in the wheel to run this bitch up. So that's all you get. Bunch of morons on the wrong side of a massive trend over and over and over, and they feed the money right to the people who know what to do with it. So you're not in anything different, and there's nothing out of control about this time than any other time. You know, the United States is doing exactly what it's done for multiple eras, and they thought we were dead in the Cold War. They thought we were dead at the end of World War II. They thought we were dead going to the stagflation. Those people are pretty much dead. Pretty much all the people betting against these two ways are probably dead now. Like, with just time passage, they're like actually dead. But you know, still. If you're gonna wait to the end of this, if you're gonna wait to the end of when this actually makes you right and burn off like your entire lifespan, you deserve not to have that lifespan, because what are you doing with your life? You're living in this country hoping it fails. You go, aha, I told you so. You're gonna be broke, bitch. So it's a funny thing. Rule the atom, baby. Damn right.
Catching up the chat, guys?
I do have the chat. Anything that's not allowed in the chat, I don't know. Anything that I'm talking about, that teaching you specific techniques inside Nebula, keep those to yourselves if you're from our channel.
Yeah, no, it's we've got Weo. He's I don't know how these bit systems work fully, but he's shouting you 1,500 bits, whatever that's worth.
I don't even know what that is. Like, so this stuff looks like whatever it looks like what my son's messing with inside of like of Fortnite, right? I don't know what these are.
They have like this cheering leaderboard basically, so like followers and subscribers to your channel, like people who like you or whatever, they buy bits. You see the thing on the Twitch where it says get bits? You can have bits, and then you just like.
I don't know who figured this shit out. Like, you know, what test subject did they go to do the emotes inside of Fortnite or this? Like, I can't even guess that like older people would have.
That department has probably like some crazy psychiatrists and shit working in it that he's just prepared not to know about.
They got like these little kids' brains and stuff.
Yeah, they've got like remote systems like tapping into the fucking like primal urges of these kids. It's disgusting.
Like, you know, when I was watching on Fortnite,
300 bits, so fuck yes.
You look at like my son, he's playing Fortnite, and like the stuff that they think is interesting. I'm like, you got 17-year-old kids in there that are like about those emotes and the dancing, like, you know, dress ups and stuff like that. And I'm like, who could have figured out on mass scale in this, you know, in Tencent or whatever, that would have been a thing, and that there'd be a virtual asset, that there would be a, you know, price discovery too, and it'd be where it is. Like Fortnite's is like a phenomenon, what it did to like uncover like what you could do in the virtual world. And I can't imagine, like, you know, 2 years from now it's not way more ridiculous, and that those kids can identify themselves by like factions that they are with in the virtual space. You know, you might be having race wars between orcs and trolls and shit instead of fucking blacks and whites. It's a crazy world, but I think Ready Player One is a look into the future of where the hell things are going for people. If anybody saw that movie.
Vegas says they stole the system from a free camps website.
Oh, what?
That's funny as hell.
Say it again?
They basically turned us into porn stars. The bit system, apparently, Berger is saying they stole it from a porn website.
Oh my god, are you serious? Okay, I'll have to probably do some research into that. But yeah, man.
I feel so cheap, man.
I feel like a slut.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, when you donate bits to Kaz and he doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Kaz is just trying to get his message out here. Like, there's so much value in what Kaz has to share, and rather being silenced all the damn time, just thought, well, we'll come over to Twitch and share what we want to share. to the rest of you guys without the cesspool that is Twitter. We actually have no idea what is going on with all these things.
It's going to be a bit of a apparatus these first couple of weeks, but it's going to be fun.
We've created double-digit millionaires trading, guys who didn't know anything about markets, and ultimately, we don't have a personal beef with anybody in Twitter because I don't know any of those people. I don't go into doxing anybody, figuring out who's what or any of that shit. I only care about being accurate. And the person who's on the wrong side of me, that's dumb money. I don't care if your name is Donald Trump or if your name is fucking, whatever the fuck, Tinky Winky. It's just a zero-sum system, and accuracy is all I'm focused on. After 20 years, it's all I care about in this market. But I've been around long enough to know exactly how many different versions of shit you can go through and still be lost, enough so that I can actually talk to people who've never done this and tell you exactly what not to fucking do. Or who not to follow, obviously from experience, I know exactly who lead you off a fucking cliff. Fractal versions of those guys exist in all systems. I've run into that same idiot OG in 1998. And 1999 up to the climax, I met guys that were exactly the plebs you thought were geniuses who are now working in like a freaking soup kitchen. They just didn't know what they were doing, but their egos swell up to points they swore to God they did. And if you don't know what you're doing, you might think they know what they're doing because they have money. Most dangerous thing in the world is to think that money equals intelligence. You don't know how they got it. You don't want to make that assumption. But in every system, whether it was a real estate boom, lending boom, I was in all of those, and I saw the same version of the same guy over and over and over again. And that's why it was easy to predict LTC winter. They act exactly like the same shit that happened before the gold fucking explosion. Literally the same thing. And the gold bugs that you're watching, like, think about this. Where's gold? GC, we'll use the futures chart. GC1 futures. See, now I'm going to go change like my save chart and get totally screwed, not going to find it. There's my gold chart. That's a 6-month window, right? So this is gold, right? Think about Litecoin Winter's chart. And then look at what gold is. I'll just
you're on a long scale, by the way, I think.
Yeah, I noticed that because of the other chart, right?
Yeah.
So like gold, I was part of the bull market in gold from 2001 when I first started trading it. This was a bull market that lasted a decade, bigger in time duration than today's bull market in the stock market. In this era, this was like the heyday of being in gold. This is the LTC winter part of gold. Remember altar back? What do you think your gold bugs sound like trying to catch this one? It's the same fucking chart. Right? Wrong one. Here's my arrow. Oh, there's my arrow. Yeah. That's 7 years of decline that these idiots have been walking in front of going altar back again. It's the same idiot. It's not a different one. It's a fractal troll. The same OG from going to the gold market that's been killing people with this, like. Who are some of those fun guys? What's this guy, Rickards?
Schiff. Yeah,
Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff was a bull I found Peter Schiff in 2001. He has not stopped saying the exact same thing in 20 fucking years. That guy is an OG troll. He doesn't have any fucking clue what he's talking about. In the upswing, he sounded like a genius. I thought he was a genius. After he got here, I'm like, he's really not going to stop this. And it's got here, he's still not going to stop it. He has no idea how he got lucky. He does not know how it got where it got. And this ultimately, if you think about the loss of wealth of longs and gold, it's massive. It's in the tens to hundreds of billions he's cost retail traders with that advice publicly. Same exact thing. Much greater amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. Especially whenever you think about how he says it in two parts of the equation, like stocks are going to crash, you better buy gold now. They missed the fucking, stock bull market since 2009, sitting in this gold that's getting, just bleeding into the ground.
Yeah, that's an insane thing. He has kicked you out of the single best opportunity of your fucking life. That's gold. If you think about where he's telling people to keep buying gold and dump stocks, he's telling people since the climax happens in August 2011. This is where he's basically telling people to keep buying gold from and don't touch stocks. Your losses are compounded. I mean, it's insane. You've missed a 2.5x move in the entire national index of the United States and gotten your faces torn off for, last 7 years in gold. He's most likely changed people's financial futures and probably had people like literally jump out of windows from his advice. He has literally killed somebody with his advice, financially destroying them and putting them in a position when they turned sick, they didn't have the money to take care of themselves. That's the real damage of people like that. It might seem like a joke and shit on Twitter, but I've talked to guys who lost their entire kids' college savings from those guys who are pumping and dumping shit coins, and they're 60 years old and they will never make it back. They don't have enough time to get the savings back. They're done. And as much as you used to say do your own research, yeah, not everybody understands trading. They go in there thinking those people are there for their benefit to help them. Those people are there to actually make money by pushing you into the other side of their trades. And that is nefarious. It's unscrupulous behavior, and not everyone's prepared to understand that those are the real risks that are out there in social media. Some older people don't realize people are that unscrupulous. And before they find out, they've taken permanent, losses that are going to materially impact the way they can live. It's pretty disgusting, but that's what crypto Twitter really is. It's a cesspool of that. From FBG going out there and saying that the guy's just pumping and dumping. I mean, the guy's telling you he doesn't know anything about shit. He's just pushing shit around and playing, manipulation of news and information. To the CIO that's in my DMs. Those guys have no equity.
Okay to just like admit that in public to like everybody. That's how commonplace it is. Like it's normal life for him for that to be the thing, right? You don't admit that to a fucking interviewer.
No, and that tells you that's why some of the things that come out of Wall Street, they know blockchain is the value, not Bitcoin, because right now, the technology of blockchain is useful, but it doesn't have to have a POW coin attached to it so some pleb can make money off of you if you push anything through the network. You could just make your own private blockchain network and say bye-bye. So, that's what Wall Street's going to do. Goldman and all those guys are not going to come into Bitcoin. They're just going to make their own damn blockchain network and say, fuck you. The pleb sitting there is thinking that like some guy from Wall Street with like $100 million is gonna go buy his bags when he's like sleeping in his car and shit. Like, you really think that guy made his money by buying the bags off some homeless guy? Like, are you stupid? But that's what they believe, and that's why they're gonna continue to be broke, and they'll be broke until they're gone from the market. But yeah, never bet against a trend, right? What you said in the last video, an uptrend, you go bull, you go with it, right? At the end of the day, you know where the fuck this ends. Don't be a genius. But the easy money is made with the trend, Guys who were investors in the bull markets of the internet bubble look like geniuses. And why wouldn't you? Just go with the trend and you can actually make money easier. The path of least resistance makes the most sense, I think, to anybody. It's got half a shit of sense. Where you guys at? Who is the other people in voice? Oh, you guys already answered that. Oh, this thing didn't scroll. Can I get...
Yeah, I guess maybe we should do kind of like an introduction, right? Because if people don't know us at all, then they probably just know you from Twitter, right?
So alright. I'm Winternomics. That fine British sounding chap from Sherwood Forest. Winternomics, formerly Kazanomics. My friend from Sherwood Forest, go ahead, introduce yourself.
So I'm CryptoCardi, believe it or not.
CryptoCardi.
Just a deeper voice, that's what deeper voice.
CryptoCardi is our first transgender member of our trading group.
CryptoCardi, as good as the music is actually a very polite English person. So I've been with CryptoCardi about a year or so, and we now trade together and teach some Nebulans as well.
Our first lady of trading.
Yes, hi guys. I've been trading with Kaz since 2014. I didn't know anything about anything when Kaz took me on board. So all I know is Kaz's logic, and it's literally changed my life over the past 4 years. So this man is like super valuable to this space. So hopefully you can get some of his insights as I did. And see and capitalize on it.
Appreciate it
going forward. So,
who are you on Twitter?
Scenario for 1106. So you should be able to just click my profile there if you want to see some crazy gifs or me retweeting various things. But it's not all that exciting. I would say follow Kaz.
Follow all of us. The squad goals.
Yes. So all of the links to our Twitters are in our shit down below the stream. So
right, you can find us down there. And then Dale Earnhardt, the legend. Who's that?
Yeah, what up, guys? I am CryptoSim on Twitter. I found Kaz back right when I was graduating college, and it was actually right when this 100-year Dow chart was posted on Twitter as well. And I saw that shit breaking out whenever Donald Trump became president. And I was in like a finance background over in college, and kind of tied a bunch of shit I learned in class together, just talking to him. And it's like, well, shit, we're gonna be in a bull market. Let's start trading. And I just picked my career path from there, and I've been trading ever since I graduated. Been rolling with these guys, teaching a couple of guys in my nebula. It's been a hell of a journey.
I have ruined many, many parents' dreams for their kids who have graduated college and sat at home. How many of you guys who graduated college appeared? How many of you guys who graduated college appear to be homeless to your parents? Or not homeless, jobless. You look like you're unemployed.
It's been like a month. Looking pretty rough.
Squad goals are unemployment in here. We're all pretty equally unemployed. We're really happy with it. No, it's pretty funny shit though, right? Like when Lunar Trader graduated and just like immediately went upstairs to his bedroom. It's like, well, that's that. Funny shit.
Yeah, no, he's asking how long it takes me to write those tweets as Cardi. Some of them take a minute, honestly.
So then,
the real problem is that my autocorrect on my phone now is so jacked, so that when I like message normal people, it's just retarded.
The funniest shit, right?
Like, I'm messaging my mom and like my phone will autocorrect a bunch to like Cardi speak. It's crazy.
It's the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's funny.
Mark, do you dream in Cardi speak?
Do I dream
in foreign language?
I don't tend to remember too many dreams for one reason or another, so I can tell you so. Yeah, if it gets to that stage, I might have to quit the Cardi avatar. If I start speaking, dreaming in
Cardi, Cardi B top.
That might drive me crazy.
Dude, this channel is like super fun. Like I trade with these guys like pretty much every day, and I look forward to actually signing on with these guys. It's such a lot of fun and so much knowledge and skill in this channel. So hoping to share it with you guys on Twitch as well. It's a relatively new platform, so first streams tonight, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and a better platform, like, we like helping people. It helped us refine our game doing that. The amount of times we went over things, training different channels, it is part of why we have the precision we have. Studying sentiment and Twitter has been fun, but Twitter is a dinosaur. I was already done posting public calls at the end of that anyway. It's going to be becoming like a cesspool. Everybody's looking to just FOMO everything you touch and say, because they've already figured out crypto Twitter is just full of trash. You've got like 2 other guys in crypto Twitter that call anything you give a shit about, and it's surrounded by just infinite dog shit. The main idea is not to like spoon feed anybody. It's for you to have the capacity to make a decision without having to deal with that shit in crypto Twitter. You want to be able to make decisions because you can do your own research and at least assess the risks to yourself and protect yourself going into this stuff. And that's what we always put out, was just general insights and ways of thinking and thoughts and things that could open your mind to ways of looking at information that might not have been clear to you off the bat. The ignorant people out there took it personally. The people who saw value in it ended up in here, and shit tons of went multi. Not everybody's going to get value when it's in their fucking face, and that's why it's called value, right? Most people won't miss it, and most of crypto Twitter is invaluable. That's just the realities of what it is. Most of any system's not valuable. It's not just a crypto Twitter thing. It's most people aren't. Most people in your life are shit, and most people in every system are shit. So finding value is a scarcity that makes it worth it to find, and that's why we do what we do the way we do, because the few that figured it out who end up inside this room. That's what it was always about. So we never have a big operation. We don't care about scaling up. We have thousands of applications to this room. I can't teach thousands of people surgical skill sets and technical analysis and trading. I can give you some broad views that will improve you drastically, and which is what we do here. We'll help you do that. As far as training hands-on, that's where I can refine those kinds of processes. But here, just looking at the market, there's some really simple shit that can save you a lot of damage. And in this one, in the text over here, I wrote something really simplistic. When I wrote this in 2016, it was to help you beat what happens with the media, what they do to people, that makes people second guess things like this and cost themselves ultimately, opportunities of their lives. A 9-year bull market, if you're a 55-year-old guy, this could have changed your life going into retirement. even if you'd worked your whole life in a fucking factory, this could have been your one chance to really fucking improve your life. And there's many people who were talked out of this because of, the racial undertones under Barack Obama and now the crazy antics of the new president. One or the other was enough to keep you terrified of what the fuck was going on, to like keep your money underneath your bed. You save fiat money in a expanding system like this, a money credit based system that's based on fractional reserve, you're going to go broke. There's a reason rich people don't hold paper. It's not a fucking good idea. And in this,
more of it every day.
Say it again. There's just more of it every day, right? It's becoming, it's not scarce. It's becoming, more plentiful every day. It's a terrible idea. But this was something that I said here. The highly structured pump running for 100 years. To the much of dismay of many would-be junior economists who simply don't understand central banking or the economy in the least. People are trying to call the top of this thing since I was in school in the 90s. And now here, it's like unbelievable to watch, 40, 50, 60-year-old analysts who've been around, who can even recall what's going on from the 70s, who are still making the same mistake that killed people for 20 fucking years in this market, are doing it again and harming everybody around them because they're too narrow-minded to realize they're wrong. Sheep are their worst enemy. The 1% didn't fuck anybody out of this. It's the sheep who fucked each other out of this themselves. And that's the real reality of it. That's why sheep all die together, because there's comfort in that fucking herd of nonsense. If you like being a sheep, go be broke with them, but we don't do that shit. So, yeah, this is
unwillingness to, listen to new information and being able to consider that new information, not necessarily process it straight away, but at least be open enough to receive another point of view and then research that. Definitely gives you a huge step forward than just shutting your mind to everything.
Yeah, Mike, get your PS4 up, man. You can come join us in the parties there, and when we're trading, we just we chit chat there and trading and just games, and it kills good time. Stop you from fucking doing something stupid to your play. Let it make money for you. That's one of the good reasons about playing games. A lot of times you sit there staring at your trade and you get antsy and you do something you shouldn't do. Sometimes if you can take your eyes off that chart, you can let your business plan play itself out, and that's one of the main reasons we do it. Also, it's kind of fun too. We're all unemployed, so we're home a lot. So.
This is true.
So there's nothing else I'd rather do, but run over Cardi in my fucking tank. Actually, no. Cardi's the motherfucker that you see like driving over me every second. That's Cardi. Cardi's a drunk driver.
We got a couple of questions in chat for you if you want, Cass.
I'm looking. I see some homeless people in chat.
Yeah, Q&A.
Alright, let's see.
We've got Weeyong. He wants to know if you're going to do another Nebula. He wants to know if you're considering taking some more people for Nebula.
At this time, I have not decided to do another one. We've got people trying to infiltrate our rooms, and there's some real dirtbags of degenerates who can't admit that we are the knowledge base in crypto TA, but are willing to try and steal it to present it as their own. Douchebags like Crypto Banger that are frauds, just pretending they came with fractal concepts when they have conversations I have screenshots of me teaching it to them. There's just so much degenerates out there that are trying to get like an ego pump off ripping this off rather than just generally want to learn it. I don't gain anything from teaching it to people like that. I gain myself an experience from teaching people who really want to know a thing, because it forces me to be at a level that's like beyond belief in order to teach it to you at a speed that's meaningful. And that's part of how I refine what I do. So I do enjoy that because it makes us just better. We become more accurate every single time. But I'd have to come up with a better vetting process before I'd want to do that with the anonymity that Twitter has provided. It's definitely more dangerous to me to do that. And the information we have is really valuable. I don't look to teach it to funds and things like that. I generally like to improve people who come from where I come from, who think this was a thing that you were never going to get to do, that you could do it. That's where the value is. And that's where the learning is for both ends of it. The more I repeat this logic and the more people I've taught is the more refined it's become for all of us. We've evolved massively in the last 4 years to the point that we do have the CIO of the biggest hedge fund in our DMs trying to bribe us with stupid insider tips, because at the end of the day, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and we do.
Very fucking cool.
This guy's a fucking clown. But, at the end of the day, this is just a personal thing we do. I trade for myself. These guys trade for themselves. We're all just at our houses trading, making a living together, and enjoying it. And we all kind of met through, the magic of blockchain and Bitcoin. It gave us a way to meet each other in crypto, Twitter. And for just regular people doing what people think is extraordinary shit, but it's not. It's just there's a method to everything, and it's fun to do. How do we get to follow your Twitter? I have to know who you are, because ultimately I have more enemies than I have friends, right? So I don't exactly know who's who out there and who's coming through a second account to smear me or do any of the nonsense that's been going on. It's become a difficult thing to fish through.
Value scarce.
Yaji's got a question here. His first question was, he's already following Snow, but he wanted to get added to your Twitter, but I think you just covered that. But his second question is, if you can't open up Nebula straight away, could you please give us a list of people you think we should definitely stay away from Twitter, as he got messed up pretty bad this year by some of those crappy OGs.
I mean,
boys, that's following.
I'll be honest, right? On OGs out there who are not trying to screw you, that play around out there, I'll give credit where credit's due. Cobain is probably the most accurate instinctive trader on crypto Twitter. He's got probably the best turning points of anybody who's not using technical systems. He's not a technical trader, but he is instinctively good. But he has a lot of like shit posting and sarcasm that can kind of make his calls hard to read. Somebody else I've seen, Jackfruit on his BTCTA was usually quite spot on in his heyday. I haven't paid attention much to his work now. Outside of that, people are posting really accurate calls. There isn't a ton, man. Technically wise, I don't know anybody that's posting technicals that I give a shit about. Most of them are just on the receiving end of what I do. Trying to think, you guys got anybody in your list that?
It should say a lot that you're having to list the guys. Sorry, Mark.
I was going to say Ace maybe for
Ace in altcoins. Ace of Wall Street is probably the most accurate altcoin caller there ever was.
He was taught by you, though, so
he was taught to read charts and stuff by me, but his understanding of fundamental valuations of shitcoins is second to nobody's. He understands like what the value added of each fundamental aspect of a coin can be to the marketplace. So I'll give him that. From I met him as a young kid in 2014, he understood shit that was miles ahead of like where I could get a grasp on it. When Anon Tech came. When POS came, all of those things, he understood what that would mean to the marketplace, what the difference between security was. He's definitely pretty accurate. If you watch his calls on BTC, he's trading live on BitMEX on crypto Twitter. It's pretty spot on. He had one turning point that was kind of a stretch, but if you watch him for the most part, he's been pretty spot on with BTC. Outside of those guys, I'm trying to think if anybody else from the old world that's worth paying attention to.
It should say a lot that it was quicker to list the guys that were worth following than not worth following. So
the list of who's not worth following. Everyone you ever saw me so dumb money list, that's basically your counter trade target, right? Those are the idiots who keep saying the same stupid shit and get run over, and just act like assholes when they can't admit they're fucking wrong. Those are your dumb money. Anybody acts like a general asshole like that and is wrong constantly, that's it. And it's not hard to track it. Just track what they say. They write it down for you, the timestamp. It's fucking garbage. They're all garbage, so I make comic strips out of them because it's so fucking funny. It's all you can do with it. It's like they're just a fucking joke. So we make a joke out of it because they're jokes. I don't tell them to put shitty calls on timestamped on Twitter. They do it themselves. They just make it fun for us to do because we just add it up and trade against it and kill their asses. Dumb money doesn't know it's dumb. Like that's one of the most important things, right? People who are able to like take an introspective look at themselves and change what they do, that's intelligence. People who repeat the same mistake over and over like it's going to get better, that's just a retard. There's nothing you can do to help that guy. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink, right? But yeah, aside from that, I think anybody else has
some good questions coming in here, Kaz.
Let me see. Oh, this one has an auto scroll. I see. All right, let me get it there.
We've got a good question here from Wallabrew.
Wallabrew?
I'm going to be so bad at asking your guys' screen names, so I apologize for completely butchering these. But
okay.
Have I ever met his question is, seen you tweet about asteroid mining. What's the best way to get exposure to that? And that might be one maybe Crypto Sim can help a little bit with as well. His ETF knowledge is exceptional.
Asteroid mining, wait, what was the full question on asteroid mining?
You've seen you tweet about asteroid mining quite a lot, so maybe you want to talk about your theory about asteroid mining a little bit, and then he wants to know what's the best way to get exposure to that. So maybe,
asteroid mining is just what I expect should come along in this particular markup of leg 3. I forecasted that in 2013. just if you look at the grand scale of things and think about the technology that emerged along the markup, right? You have them splitting the atom at the end of World War II, and as you move into the Korean War, right? War keeps us like producing new tech because it's the mother, necessity is the mother of invention. During this markup, you go from splitting the atom to getting to the moon. Stagflation, oil crisis. You come out of this, and you end up in a Cold War that ends up funding the Star Wars project to defend the United States from Russia, which funds semiconductors, which leads to the boom that leads to the internet age, which leads to the information age, which leads now to the cell phone age, the smartphone age, and so we're going into most likely robotics, VR, and off-world age. So that's my forecast, is that we'd be seeing those kinds of mixes. Blockchain really serves a great purpose to transfer value across massive distances. If I got an asteroid full of like $1 quintillion worth of like nickel, it'd be ridiculous to haul that back to Earth to do anything with it. It'd probably serve a purpose to build the colony where you found the rock, and then transfer value between home base with blockchain across distance. And so that's kind of like my thought process on it, is that like like Elon Musk is saying, for the survival of the human race, getting off the planet is definitely something that has to happen. We're overfishing our oceans. We're breeding like a virus out of balance with the ecosystem. It's not viable if anybody has half a shit of sense about food supply constraints and all that. It's something that has to happen if you want to keep us viable and diversify our living ecosystems. Best exposure to shit like that, it's gonna be your biggest corporations first. There's gonna be a million ICOs that pop up saying they have an idea for space, but who's gonna make it out there is gonna be probably your best funded guys first. And you see that with like Boeing and those dudes who are leading right now in defense and shit like that. There's gonna be peripheral smaller guys that come into being, like small cap, mid cap, and so on, players second and third tier, and we'll get some clues to that along the lines down the line. Have I ever met Angelo BTC? I've never met anybody in crypto Twitter except for the guys in my channel. I've heard he's a good trader, but I don't see many public calls from him either. I think he makes a couple here and there, but he's not really big on doing that on Twitter either. But he's one of the...
half decent,
Huh?
That's probably why he's half decent if he doesn't want to put it public.
No, he makes some good calls in the past, and he had a killer one on Litecoin, but he doesn't make tons of them where I have like a sample of tons of them. I've heard he's really good, but I don't have a shit ton of them to have any real idea. But he's always been cool. He's not a guy who made a lot of shit over the years and stuff like that. So he has my respect. He only ever liked 2 of my tweets in history: my Apple chart in 2013 and a comment I made about never bet against the money. I actually can remember the 2 things he touched. But yeah, we don't have a heavy amount of interaction. The OG spheres, I've talked to Cobain. I knew him in 14 and 15 and stuff like that. I'm from 13, so I met him in 14. And along the lines, regardless if we had back and forth between ourselves, but he did earn my respect. The guy's accurate. He's dropped some fucking stupid ass instinctive calls out there, and he does it in a completely different way than I do it. So credit due where it's due, But beyond that, yeah, I don't follow many other guys. And the OGs, I kept a list of those guys just to go the opposite of them. They're just fucking all terrible. The bulk of them were just fucking getting everybody killed, That's what we call the dumb money list, Whether they want to hear it or not, if you're on the wrong side of everything, you're dumb. If you can't admit it, that's a different problem. But if you can admit that you have a problem, you can actually, you can change shit. You can make yourself better. And some people take criticism and change what they do. Some people sit there and double down. We know which is which. So, any other questions? What do you got? Anyone from the purple here?
Kripsky wants to know, is this going to be a regular thing? I mean, yes, it is going to be regular. We're going to do this probably not every day, but pretty often.
Yeah, we're going to do this chatting games and stuff, and whatever. We're going to try to make money. We can't tell you every single play we make, but things that are liquid, we can help you and give you some guidance and stuff like that. But ultimately, you don't want to rely on some guy to tell you what to do all the time. If I hit a fucking tree tomorrow, you're dead. So you need to figure out how to manage yourself. And I think everybody, if they're able to manage themselves, can make a stronger community rather than having one guy tell you everything. That's not what the goal of it is. Never been what my goal was. I don't believe in hot tips. I believe in knowing what the fuck you're doing, so you're not a victim to people like the OGs. So you have to complain about them. Because ultimately, if you lift your financial dealings in the hands of people like that, people you've never met through the internet, whether it's me in a mask or it's some other guy that you've never met, and you take financial damage, that's still on you.
What do you think about the gold silver drop? Says XO for me.
Gold, I talked about that. Gold is just a big ass crash cycle like LTC Winter, it's just on another time scale. XAU, USD. Take him back out of log scale. XAU, USD. Right? Gold's in just a big ass crash cycle. It's the same shit. Looks like a gigantic.
Leon says I have the most educational gifts though, so shout out to me.
Huh?
I'm interrupting your gold analysis to accept my congratulations for my exceptional gifts. It's way more important. You know this.
That's what they come here for.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who is the real Ross? Ross Gerber is the real Ross. Ross Berger is the hard fork of Ross Gerber.
It's definitely a mouthful.
Brian Shannon. Brian Shannon's the original creator of the crash cycle, the emotion chart. So if anybody's name you see on that Wall Street cheat sheet but his, those are frauds. The only person who's responsible for that emotion chart ever being made in the first place is Brian Shannon.
There's another question here for you, Kaz. Do you have any prospects of where the blockchain technology might go, not price-wise, but technology?
I think into central banking. I think you're going to see cross-border settlements, World Bank, IMF. I think they're going to utilize it. I think you might see fiat end up on the blockchain in time. I think blockchain is going to be the backbone of something like Star Wars Republican credits, a way to track all the value in the system, and everybody be given their allotted buying power on the blockchain, and that data recorded and managed, so there's no more money hidden from taxes, no more money under the pillow, there's nothing. Everybody's money can be accounted for in the system. I think that it's going to be a benefit to the powers that be in the future.
It's funny, during this whole crypto winter, one of the strongest, stock market sectors has been the fintech stocks. All those things are running, and all these people who are obsessed with their altcoins, you don't see a single one of them talking about any of those publicly traded companies that are implementing this technology.
Yeah, I mean, I think
fintech's been money.
Crypto's been,
yeah, it's a complete shit on crypto. Like, crypto's going down, that thing's going to move. Like, they're moving inverse.
It's the same thing that when look at silver. Silver's crash cycle is so much more pronounced. I mean, when the internet, became a thing in the late 90s, the capacities of what you could do versus the expectations of what you thought it should do were so different. It was, part of the reason of the crash. It just wasn't ready to change the world yet. It wasn't ready to have smartphones, or smartphones weren't even there to be on the network to revolutionize human productivity. So most of the times, like when you're highly emotional, your expectations kind of are stretched in both directions. And the expectations are stretched in time, that they were ahead of when the realities could actually be a thing. What's the NASDAQ on here? I'll just use AS100. So this is the NASDAQ. You go back to his era. He's a lot like our crash cycles of crypto. And, in this era, what they thought the internet would do for everybody here, it actually did for everybody after here. So this is the actual internet markup. This is the forward expectation that was mispriced, if you want to think about it that way. And there was a gap between what the people believed was possible and when it was actually going to show that impact to the bottom line. And crypto's not doing anything that's any different, right? What was the chart I saw the other night? What was the chart we saw the other night? It was like a phenomenal crash cycle chart. It was a mid-cap shitcoin.
What was that?
In crypto?
It was XDC.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This is like this. I think this should be the crash cycle chart of crypto. This thing is so beautiful. Look at this guy. What's
depends what side of it you're on.
Oh, it depends what side you're on. Right. XDC is the crypto crash cycle chart of shitcoins. That is a perfect representation of what happened with that garbage ass fucking masternode. Crypto, the shape of this is like expectations, reality. That's it, and that happens a lot. Now, forward utility, when that actually arrives, will be sometime in the future, and which coins actually have utility is going to be a very, very select few. Of the basket of what you have today, 1,500, 1,800 coins, there might be 3 in there that have prospects you're going to give a shit about in the next 3 to 4 years. And the one that's going to be the thing that you give a fuck about, you most likely aren't aware which one it is right now. That's the way it works. Like, Amazon, when he was in 1995, nobody had a fucking clue. And Amazon was a ghost in 1995. You did not know this motherfucker was going to do what he did down here. In 95 when he started, stock exchange rate hits there. This graph doesn't go back to what it's supposed to, but nobody had any idea. Post the internet bubble era, which is over here, this is the whole internet bubble for Bezos. And if you think about him like a shitcoin, right? Nobody fucking knew this guy was a good idea, way past the point he was a good idea. If that's anything like crypto, you don't have any idea that shitcoin is going to be the one right now.
Yeah, show them Cisco after this.
Cisco was the flagship stock that is the crash cycle chart, believe it or not. If you pick the wrong stock, which is Cisco, is Bitcoin of this era. And this is Cisco. And he ain't back yet. Still. So, the one that's going to be the guy that does it is the one that nobody's really staring at this point. I think that, the expectations are ahead of itself. Bitcoin to be the transformative one is probably not likely. He introduces the tech, but who's going to really create the utility that makes blockchain like, part of a household living? I don't think we're staring at that guy yet. Well, not all of you anyway. What are the questions we got? So crypto will continue to be flat decline until real use case emerges, the hype cycle. I think I gave you the answer inside of what I said.
I've got a question from Diego. Any good books you would recommend?
Books I recommend. I only have one I recommend, and it's on Twitter a lot.
It was.
Which was? Oh, I should tell you that? That's for the next episode. I'll give you
that affiliate agreement in place.
What'd you say?
Once you got that affiliate agreement in place.
Once I have my agreements in place, I'll give you a book. I'll give you a book that'll change the way you look at markets. But XRP is the standard, damn right.
Lies that says, Kaz, have you ever heard of Triple D? It's a 3D printing company. He sure has, and so has Cardi. Cardi is currently long.
Cardi's balls deep in some Triple D. So 3D printing is going to be, a part of like putting us out in space. It's bottom line. You're going to have to manufacture shit in orbit you can't fucking do yourself, and this is going to be part of that industry. I think this is part of the peripherals that you can see in Space Cash. When you build space docks in orbit, they're probably going to have parts manufactured in orbit by complex 3D printing infrastructure. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, I like them. What else you got?
The other one we were watching in 3D printing was SSYS.
SSYS.
That's the other one I've got there.
Yeah, these are some big time guys.
Going private, thoughts, asked Wuyang.
I don't think we have enough information to know more than what we see, out there. I think it makes sense for him. He's being torn apart in the public eye by a bunch of people who are too stupid to know how he got where he is, That's crypto Twitter, if you think about it, right? Roger Ver is like the most successful crypto investor out there, being shit on by all the broke ones. Tesla put a rocket in space and created an EV car, and is being shit on by a guy who can't work his toaster. Ultimately, that's a distraction to what he's doing. Crypto Twitter's shitting on me, and they can't call fucking nothing. It makes sense to be private in order to handle your business and be more efficient. You just can't deal with all that fucking drag on your business, and his expectations that are being layered on him by people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, every single time Goldman's issued any kind of analysis, they've shortchanged what the production capacities of Tesla were. They've been wrong every fucking time, and he's a guy who's a self-made billionaire. I'm telling you right now, unless you're a self-made billionaire, don't call touch on guys like that, because he's done everything that none of you ever knew what to do what he's done. So if you're gonna guess what he might do next, you could be an ass. It's not his fault to explain to you what he's doing. He did what you didn't know already. So just shut the fuck up and let him work. That's really what it needs to be. And I agree with him on that. Taking it private. He's breaking grounds in an area that no one understands. How in the fuck are you going to judge that, man, when you don't even understand how to do any of what he's doing? You should be a normal CEO. Normal CEOs didn't change the energy market. That's the problem. People who are sheep thinking that you need to be as sheepy as they are. That's what keeps the world down. And I think he's recognized that, you have to get away from the sheep in order to do great things. I'm in the same place. I can't deal with, crypto Twitter as a drag when these people are just looking to drag each other down every single day. None of them help each other out, right? They're busy talking about themselves and all kinds of bullshit. Ultimately, I transform people's lives in here, and nobody ever hears about what I have because it's not part of the equation for me. I actually enjoy seeing people rise. And in crypto Twitter, people are too vested in seeing each other go down. They want to see him fall. They want to see Bezos fall. They want to see, Roger fall. Rather than do something that rises above and beyond Roger, they just want to cry and rip Roger down. I mean, that's pretty much why society can't rise, because they're so busy tearing each other to shreds. Do you think we'll see a Silk Road 2.0? People will always try to sell drugs online.
Yeah.
To the question, how will we get the material for 3D printing to space? The plan is just to 3D print the material already in space.
Right. If you start getting metals and ore in space, do you need to bring it back here? A 3D printer that can print like metals and shit like that will have infinite resources out there. But
they've actually tested that, haven't they? I think that was a Triple D project along with someone where they used some asteroids and actually printed a very small space piece. So the concept has already been proven that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just saw an interesting question somewhere. Ben wants to know what games you play, bro. That's probably a question to everybody actually, because Snow's a bit of a gamer as well.
Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 5, I'm not sure about that yet. I'm working on figuring that shit out. But Street Fighter 4 goes back to the days of what I actually know how to play in Street Fighter. When Korean Ju comes in for, we're gonna have like a joint like room. So we're gonna have like a tournament between rooms and just play off with his guys, our guys, and have some fun with that. He's a Street Fighter 4 dude. That like we're like older. That's the one that's like it's instant gratification. It's short enough for us to trade and kind of like monitor what we do. We're not into like any massive multiplayer so much so because of time constraints and what we're involved in. But games like that, Helldivers is dope. We like that one. We're in the Super Earth Edition. It's fun. We're gonna probably check out Madness because it's hot, and then my son's actually gonna probably come run Fortnite on here for you guys too, who know that stuff, because he's ridiculous now. Like it's crazy. There's a hand dexterity with what the fuck's going on. If he can do that shit with something that makes money, we're fucking rich. But he's gonna probably run that, with some of his squad and stuff, and he's honestly like a window into what's going to be hot before you know it. What they know to fuck around with, we're just old enough to have almost no idea. And he knows the game that's hot. I mean, he was playing Fortnite from it came out, like 2 weeks after it came out, he was all up in that, and I'm like, this looks ridiculous. And then all of a sudden it's this shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So have him kind of like demonstrate some stuff like this, and we'll play some games like that. I may try to learn that, but it's not been something that's like mentally taken to me just yet in understanding Fortnite. But what other games do you play? Fighting games, shooting games, cooperative games. I don't know, stuff like that. I've not actually been in the game world for quite some time, just from doing things like this and from being in real estate. I never had the time to really keep up with what was new. Not much of a sports game guy, but yeah, anything fighting or cooperative games wise, I'm all about it. Like if they bring Super Contra back in a way that was really good, I'd be all over that shit. I'm from that era.
What about?
Huh?
Alright, I was going to say, what about Snow and Sim? What games you like playing?
I focus on Rocket League. I play a little bit of Fortnite. I'm not very good.
Battlefield too. Battlefield and Black Ops. All those first-person shooters are all about. All of us can play those too, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is Battlefield and Call of Duty. Yeah, it's probably the most unladylike genre, but never mind.
GTA was always my favourite. I was never a shooter. Yeah, GTA was mine if I was ever going to pick up a controller. But I love Helldivers. It's the first 4-player co-op I've ever played.
It's really
fun
good
as shit. It's like the best version of like Gauntlet and stuff. Might have to check out. Oops, turned it off on accident. Borderlands. We might check that out too. Heard that's pretty cool. Corporations owning planets. Kind of what I imagine the universe is really like. Just a fractal version of Earth. I wouldn't believe the system's any different anywhere else. That'd be pretty cool. What you guys got? I'm gonna probably take off here to do some dinner with the family. But did you play Street Fighter with Korean G yet? No, we haven't done that. I actually had an injury and didn't do it. But we talked to him. He's actually gonna get his station up, and then we're gonna cross over, and then you'll see us playing on each other's station and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna get that going, squeeze some fun shit, and whip his ass. Watch. Who's in here? With a busted hand. Don't worry, Korean G. And I know you can hear me. Ass whipping, hand or not.
It's coming.
Alright, do you want to rip last few questions before you got to bounce and Kaz?
Yep, I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, Ben R94. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. This is the future, man. Streaming is the future. If you didn't watch the whole stream, this is where we plan to be. This is where we can communicate information at warp 9. Look how much shit we're gonna cover right now in like 45 minutes or so, compared to what you'd have to read on Twitter to have meaningful information about space cash, asteroid mining, markets, megatrends, and so on. It's just more efficient for everybody involved. For myself, for yourself, for you to consume information that is meaningful to you and be selective enough to pick what's meaningful to you. This is just where the world's going. It's not going towards microblogging. It's going away from microblogging.
We've got pretty big plans, right? I think we're going to spend quite some time on here and really try and build this out to what we think Twitch has the potential to be for this market, right?
We're going to build something here. This station is going to be something that you want to pay attention to. We're going to put stuff here that will be informational and massively useful to you, well beyond what Twitter was. Dr. Das, no, this mask does not give me superpowers. If anything, it just makes me have to need a Tic Tac.
We've got a bunch of other questions, but I think probably they're going to have to mostly wait for tomorrow because I think you want to get rolling, don't you? If we start, we're going to have to finish. So
the next Nebula, if I do one, like I said, I have to find a way to vet people. It'd probably be in person. I have to vet people. I don't really trust the medium of the anonymity of online. I'm looking for small folks. I had guys that were from fucking funds inside the room sneaking in there so I can teach them how to be a fund manager. I'm like, if you're gonna fucking solicit millions of dollars from people, learn what the fuck you're doing before you do that. Don't show up in my channel and be like, I've got like 10, 20, 50, $100 million and I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like, how the fuck did you get that money? And who are you about to screw over after you took it? I'm not here to teach fund managers how to manage a fund. If you call yourself a fund manager, you better know your shit. Don't show up in my channel and ask some idiot in the mask to teach you how to run your shit. That's stupid. I do this with little guys who want to do something with themselves and never thought they had the chance or get the chance. I like doing that because when I was much younger, people tried to fuck me out of the chance. Stream tomorrow. Follow our Twitters. We all announce it on there and stuff. You'll see it coming. But most likely, yeah, we'll have a stream tomorrow, and then throughout the weeks too. And we'll be mixing games and charts and games and charts and games and keeping it fun. There's gonna be some more cool shit too coming from when Korean G gets his station up. He's gonna be doing some cool things, and you'll see us working together here on our stations and stuff like that. So we'd love to have you guys keep coming back, and we'll make an environment where there's something useful to you here of value. Not the fucking shit show that was a cesspool. And here we can control the content. We can give you something that's meaningful every single day. The world doesn't evolve, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're mostly going to be operating on probably like an East Coast American time zone.
Damn right. So, nobody's in Sherwood Forest.
we trade the US stock market pretty regularly every day, so those are the hours that we're going to be hanging around.
Wait till you see our boy Ross Gerber's going to be out here too, man. You'll see him in Twitch soon, and you're going to see a lot of the content providers that carry valuable content. They're going to be moving this way. And you're going to see a changing of the guard, and guys like Jack and those dinosaurs are going to go the way of the dinosaur. Don't bet against Bezos. He's a fucking beast. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks you guys for joining us. It was pretty fun. Those Q&As are really good because it kind of points us back even at stuff that we're watching 3D printing, we're watching asteroid mining, and all these sectors. This is all now. Donald Trump's talking Space Force. This is happening now. And we are definitely keeping our eyes on all of that. Cast Cycle 5, New Frontier, we'll have that. And we'll figure that out. We'll get another Cast Cycle on the docket for you guys. We'll let you know that's coming and get some good guests lined up for it so we can discuss something meaningful. If you guys have recommendations and stuff too, things you'd like to see discussed given where we are in this market cycle or otherwise, if we can get the guests for it, give us suggestions. We're definitely open to it. Throw them in the chat or wherever you'd like. But yeah, man, had fun. It's good Sunday. Good to see y'all. Cardi, Snow, Sim, thank you for joining me today. Have
Thanks,
fun.
guys. Appreciate it.
I'll be ready to drive over you guys another round of Hell Diaries very soon.
No doubt.
Not looking forward to that.
Will I sing a song? I don't sing much, but I'm sure Sim can drop some beatbox for you if he wants.
I don't think so.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you on here, and enjoy Twitch, man. This is definitely the way the future's going. We'll talk to you guys this week.
Peace.
See you later, guys.